Here's how I...
This world will be reduced to ashes. With it.
Let's light it up! Everybody stand! You two! Time check! Light up the blazing sun! Incinerate!
The inevitable.
Teamwork is true! Suffer the wrath of each pyroclastic surge!
This world shall perish, and it can't stop.
Show a new thing! Let the world collide! Adapt to frosting! At first, please fulfill our pact!
Bow your head. Be sanctified.
King and Queen should present a united front.
Listen!
Let's have a ball. It'll be fun.
Silence!
Time to shine! Off to the freezer! Strike a pose! Goose on the loose!
Settle down. The tides beckon.
Oh, this is all getting rather dreary.
Allow me, darling. Bow your head. Ow! A little too toasty.
Lolly! Papa! Get him!
Settle down. It It is time to slay our foes with one almighty
This calls for some
strike!
pomp and ceremony.
Fulfill our task.
I don't know why I opened there.
Good lord, always forgetting your lines. Our performance has yet to conclude.
I dance for you, my dear.
Strike a pose. Off to the freezer. Get to work.
Let us dance, my dearest.
Silence!
Afraid? Or do you not even have the courage to be afraid? Is it my turn now? Power. With the fall of darkness, destruction shall rise. Have a taste of purgatory.
Carry me.
Not bad. You've proven to be a worthy opponent after all. My blade is all that remains.
A little amuse boost. At first, a quick.
Locked on.
Yeah! Skyward! Scatter! Rise with the sun! Yeah! Skyward!
To the Lord of the Night.
Light it up! Yeah! Scatter! Skyward!
I got him cornered.
Rise with the... Yeah! Scatter! Skyward! Make way for the adept! Wrath of the sky! Burn it down! The deception ends here. Ad Astra. Ad Astra Abyss. Thank you for
Fly on. Maybe it'd be better to wait and do it in the next patch since the Exarite buff will be coming in next patch. Really, I'm one down. Yeah, I think it would be better to do it in the next patch since I'll have another character and then more buff. Let's just wait for the next patch. If I wait for it, then I'll have Durin in this one and also hopefully Yahuda, but I'm not sure about Yahuda yet. Let's do one last hangout event.
Meow.
Lynette with her own kind.
It's you. One second. Now activating chat mode. You made me jump there. I thought they'd finally caught me. Well, my heart rate did. Jumped up a little, I mean. Objectively speaking, the trouble was entirely of my own making. Half an hour ago, I was at Hotel de Boer for a drinks reception. It was to celebrate the successful opening of a show, but it was draining my energy. So, I waited for the right moment, then snuck away so I could switch to standby mode.
Then what happened?
Probably because I'm playing the lead role in the show? Is that so surprising? I'm always getting invitations to do solo performances. I just usually get Linny to write back and turn them down. But then came the Fontanalia Film Festival. We took all the kids from the House of the Hearth out to see a film, and after it finished, they all started clamoring for me to try out acting for some reason. Even Linny was chanting along with them. Anyway, it just so happened that a director called Mariu had sent me an invitation right around then. I'll spare you the details, but basically, I ended up accepting it. Yep, you nailed it. I'm playing the role of a puppet.
That
In
makes no
fact,
sense.
the show's called The Lost Puppet, and it's a masked mime show. So, I don't have to do any facial expressions or say any lines. Literally just a series of physical movements. Art is not comprehended by the mind, but felt in the heart. At least, that's what the director says. Anyway, if nothing else, the opening performance seemed to go down well. At the drinks reception, everyone was crowding around me, saying, "Triumphant character portrayal," but being the center of attention is draining. So the moment they left me to go harass the director instead, I was out of there. The other thing is, some weird things happened while I was on the stage. Oh, sorry, Bonnie. I didn't mean to leave you out of the conversation. My bad. No, we just met. We bumped into each other right after I slipped away.
Already named her.
Well, it'd be kind of difficult for us to communicate otherwise. Besides, I think she's taken a liking to the name. Haven't you, Bonnie? Yeah, that's right. Good kitty. We'll go find your owner soon, I promise. Nope. She's wearing a collar, and for the most part, she's pretty well groomed. If she is a stray, she hasn't been for long. Her stomach's been growling a lot. I guess she must have been missing for a few days now. As much as I'd love to hang out with her for a while longer, her owner's probably worried sick about her. Assuming she has an owner, that is. But the reception... I should probably show my face there again at some point. Even if it's just to make excuses and leave again. Decision. Well, I just find it exhausting. Thinking through all the different ramifications of different choices and so on. That's more Lenny's area than mine. So, unless it's something really important, I usually just leave the decision-making to him. It's fine. He got Fremine to make me a little something for just this situation. Poof! A phaetometer. It looks pretty over the top, I know, but it's essentially just a box of cards. He kept the design simple, so it'd be harder to break. The way it works is, I pick a card at random, then look at the number on the card. Well, for example, if the number on the card is 5 or higher, I help Bonnie find her owner. If it's less than 5, I go back to the reception. I just have to believe in the bond between me and my cards, and my fate will reveal itself to me in numerical form. At least, that's what Lenny said. Anyway, I guess I'll give you a demonstration. Huh, I didn't like that. Was I using it wrong? Maybe if I just... Clearly, there's some design flaws to iron out. I'll have to let Fremine know. Let's see, which card did I get? 4. Well, the cards fell on the ground though, so I don't think it counts as fate. If you want to get the right answer, you have to let fate decide. Also something Lenny said. So, to put it another way, if picking a card up off the ground is how to not leave it to fate, then that means it must be the wrong answer. Or... why don't you pick a card? Since I ran into you here, that means... our fates are, like, interfering with each other. Thank you. This one is final, I promise. Here, take the phaetometer. If it's 5 or above, that means fate successfully changed. Anything lower than 5 is a fail. Also, if you have your own thoughts about what I should do, feel free to share it. Now that I've got a good problem solver here to help, I don't need to run every little thing by fate.
That's good.
Alright. Then let's see where fate will lead me.
Alright. Wendy. Yes.
So, we're looking for Bonnie's owner? There's 20 cards in total, numbered 1 to 20. So there's only a 1 in 5 chance of drawing less than a 5. I should also mention, this time the cutoff was 5, but I just set that to wherever I feel like. To put it in perspective, I said I'd only do the show if I drew a 1. Fate can be pretty sneaky sometimes. I think I'll go to the Steambird and see about putting an ad in the paper. You wanna come along? I think Bonnie wants you to come with.
Yeah! Skyward! Scatter! Every stupendous day starts with a steambird. Oh, hi Lynette. Hi Traveler. What can I help you with? I don't think so. Have you picked up a stray?
Oh.
Yep. If there's no commission to follow up on, could we post a notice about the missing cat instead?
Why, of course. What a kind thing to do. Just fill out the form.
Well, we've registered you as missing. You can stay at my place until your owner finds you. Also, I just wanted to say thanks for keeping us company for so long. Well, I should probably head back to the drinks reception. Hopefully most of the people have left by now. If you've got some time, you should stop by my place tomorrow to see Bonnie. There's a nice cup of tea in it for you. Alright, see you then.
Skyward!
I believe this cat belongs to me.
I already told you, this isn't your cat.
Just take a breather, you two.
Bonnie would know
You're here.
who's her owner.
As you can probably see, you'll have to take a rain check on that tea I promised you.
This is my friend's cat. He's preoccupied with some important business, so I came to retrieve her in his stead.
Seek checks special type of secrets need not there to be cleared.
No. It's far more likely this cat escaped from the Humane Society. Bonnie?
That's the name I've given her in the meantime.
Oh, fuck. I busted.
this complicates things.
Clearly, neither
I
of them.
told you
Bonnie would go to
before.
them if
This is my
it's
friend's cat. It's normal for her not to trust me.
Listen, I'm the director of the Humane Society, okay? We've got so many strays, dogs, cats, you name it. I'm not even the one feeding them most of the time. You can hardly expect the cat to recognize me. She just looked somewhat familiar, so I came to check, just in case. If she turns out to be one of ours, I'll take her back. Simple as that. Even if that's not the case, the Humane Society could still take her in, if no one else comes to claim her, that is. We're an organization that specializes in rescuing and sheltering stray animals. We've been in business for several decades now. I'm Bernard, the current director.
The Humane Society. Huh. The name sounds familiar. I remember hearing good things. You're the one in the Quartier Lyonnais?
Yes, that's the one. Anyway, if it's not too much trouble, could I possibly take a closer look at the cat? If it turns out I really am mistaken, I suppose that means the cat belongs to this lady here. She would be the only remaining option after all.
It belongs to my friend.
Go on, Bonnie.
Oh, nope. Looks like I was mistaken. They do look similar, but there's an ever so slight difference in this one's fur color. Deepest apologies, friends. Well, I suppose this means I still have a missing cat to search for. Apologies again for the confusion.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Wait a second. You lied earlier, didn't you?
Lied? I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
A liar always has a tell. The look in their eyes, their breathing pattern, the way they hold themselves. The things that can give you away are often more numerous than you would think.
What are you talking about? The way I see it, you're conflating baseless conjecture with fact.
Normally, when someone is called out, their breathing speeds up as they begin to panic. But your breathing pattern hasn't changed one bit. In fact, it's been strangely calm and measured this entire time. If you're a bad guy, I'm sure you'll take off running the first chance you get. If you're a good guy, the most likely explanation is that you're a member of the Guards, or some similar organization.
And you're basing this off of?
Intuition. Nothing more.
Intuition. Well, I have to hand it to you, Lynette. You're right. I'm a member of the Guards. The name's Elodie. I'm currently investigating a cross-border smuggling case. This cat here... Bonnie was her name? Well, her owner is one of the prime suspects of our investigation. A couple of days ago, our suspect got wind that we were on his tail and fled. That's most likely how he got separated from the cat. I just so happened to stumble upon your notice in the Steambird, so I decided to see if he'd come back for her. But it looks like I overestimated him. The impact of this case has been huge. The Marechaussee Phantom, the Guards, and the Special Patrol have all launched investigations. If there was even the slightest chance that he would show himself, I had to follow up on the lead. A new kind of illegal drug, imitation synth. We confiscated all the synth on the market, but addiction isn't something that goes away overnight. Even without substances on the market, people are still looking for a way to get their next fix. And criminals are all too eager to capitalize on that addiction. That was the impetus for imitation synth. Needless to say, a small-scale market opened up very quickly. After the original synth debacle, we put several measures into place to prevent similar incidents from occurring. The perpetrators got smart, though, and shifted their sales overseas before those measures could kick in. That's when the imitation synth smuggling began. We only recently got word of the presence of imitation synth overseas. We managed to track down evidence of some early transactions. What we were able to find out, however, hasn't proven that useful given the amount of time that has passed. The Marechaussee Phantom launched an investigation to track down every person in Fontaine capable of producing a drug like that. That's how we learned about Bonnie's owner. He's a researcher at the Fontaine Research Institute. His name is Pierre. Pierre
Do I know
Lefebvre,
him?
to be exact.
Lefebvre.
I think Lynette knows her.
The Marechaussee Phantom found him in Poisson. In addition to the cat, he also had a pendant with him. At first, there wasn't much cause for suspicion. A search of his house didn't reveal much to go off of either. The Marechaussee Phantom very nearly left it at that. It was only later that we realized the coat of arms on his pendant belonged to none other than the Lefebvre family, one of the most infamous aristocratic families in Fontaine. Obviously, this discovery prompted a further investigation into Pierre. At that point, however, we discovered that he'd already fled. Now the guards and the Special Patrol are all searching for him.
That's not possible, actually. The Lefebvre family has been gone for a long time.
Exactly. Many years ago, several important members of the family, including the Patriarch, were murdered by an assassin of unknown origin. From that point on, family's power and influence took quite the hit.
I wonder
family
where
is
he got
engaged in
that
all
paint
manner of
in
crimes.
them.
As you
Definitely
can
not.
imagine, there's no
It can't
shortage
be
of
from
people
the
waiting in the
Lefebvre
wings to take
family.
their revenge. And with the family severely weakened, they were able to do just that. Most of the remaining family members succumbed to sickness or hunger. The ones that survived are currently living out their days under a new identity. Pierre is one of those very survivors. He's been hiding away in the Fontaine Research Institute all these years. His true identity unbeknownst to all. Until now, that is. Well, my fellow guards have told me all about how smart and courageous you both are. And I know you possess a strong sense of justice. There could be a chance that Pierre, or one of his accomplices, might attempt to get close to Bonnie. Now that you've been briefed on the situation, I was hoping you'd help us keep a lookout. If I take Bonnie back to the guards with me, there's no way Pierre will try and come for her.
Yeah,
Not even the most daring of criminals would attempt
I think
something
it's
like that.
better to just. It would have been better to just wait for Pierre here. Wait for him to approach Lynette for the cat and then catch
I
him.
have to admit, I'm not holding out too much hope that Pierre will come back for her. But if there's even the slightest chance, then it's worth a shot. Well, I've got some other leads to follow up on. If Pierre does appear, please contact me right away.
It's nothing. I'm fine. It's just the head of the Lefebvre family. He was the eminent person who kidnapped me all those years ago. It was at a dinner party. Someone tricked me into boarding the Lefebvre family carriage. Whoever it was, they took me back to their home. But before anything worse could happen,
I'll let you
Father
know the
intervened.
and see.
Yep. Father was the one who orchestrated the fall of the Lefebvre family. That's what led Lenny and I to join the House of the Hearth. After all these years. I never thought I'd hear the Lefebvre name again. Don't worry about me. I wasn't feeling sorry for myself. I was just thinking about Lenny. He's been acting strange recently. He avoids me for days on end, consumes himself with some secret investigation, and then out of the blue pushes me to do that acting job. Thinking about it now, it's almost like the one I drew from that deck of cards was part of his plan all along. He must have asked Fremine to help him out. In any case, I know he's hiding something from me. He's really pulled out all the stops this time. It's very possible. I'm sure he tried to send me away because he was afraid it would bring up some painful memories for me. It wasn't necessary, though. Even after all these years, he's still as overprotective as ever. You'll have to help me teach him a lesson if we run into him along the way. Yep. I want to head to the Fontaine Research Institute to learn more information about Pierre. Just let me activate search mode and then we'll head out. Who knows? Maybe we'll run into Linny along the way. A little bit of both, perhaps. For the most part, though, I just have the sense that something's not right. Something isn't adding up about Pierre's story. I'm just not sure what. Okay, I'll write a letter explaining everything to the crew. Once that's done, we can head out.
Huh.
Lynette,
Sooner than later, I guess.
You're, not at rehearsal?
You can drop the act, brother. In fact, I don't think either of us will have a need for acting anytime soon. You should know better than to try and keep something from me. You've never been able to do that, even when we were kids.
And that's why I tried to distract you with the masked mime show. But I guess you're just too good.
Care to introduce us to your new assistant?
This is Officer Shovras, captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. You may have met her already.
Yeah, that was.
Nice to see you. I should clarify something. Mr. Linney's here at my invitation, not the other way around. To borrow your expression, Miss Lynette, I suppose that would make him my assistant more than anything. We've brought on Mr. Linney as a consultant in the past. He was instrumental in helping us crack a case involving a perpetrator who used magic tricks to commit crimes.
So you've heard everything then?
That's exactly why we're here. There's always been questions surrounding the fall of the Lefebvre family. Some people even believe the House of the Hearth was involved. Whoever was behind it all was extremely cautious. They didn't leave a shred of evidence.
Really?
This very fact, however, leads me to believe it was indeed the work of that Harbinger. I took a look at the entrance and exit records of all the carriages that night. Let's just say it wasn't hard to deduce that there's ill will between you two. Don't worry, I don't have any evidence to that effect, and I certainly don't plan on going to bat for such a despicable family. Plus, you were victims back then more than anything. I sought Mr. Linney's help with the smuggling case. Nothing more. The way I look at it, it's a collaboration between us as people, not the organizations we represent. Besides, by working together, we can expose the truth as quickly as possible. You can hardly say that's at odds with the justice my organization strives for. Not at all. I was planning to invite you from the very beginning, Miss Lynette. It's just that my assistant here raised some objections.
Linny, I'm not the same person I was back then. That little girl who did nothing but cower in the corner in fear, she doesn't need saving anymore.
Let's go, Lynette.
I'm sorry, Lynette. You're right. I let my concerns get the better of me.
Oh, and the next time you want to distract me, you should try a different approach.
Who's this? You pick up a stray while I was gone?
Yeah, this is the new Lily.
It's a bit complicated. I'll explain later. Anyway, her name's Bonnie.
Well, if there are no objections, then I suppose the only thing left to say is... Lynette, Traveler, welcome to the team.
It appears the Lefebvre family was very particular in their use of insignias and emblems. The family would use different emblems to mark differences in status, blood relation, and the like. In fact, the insignia that was discovered on the pendant was used to represent an illegitimate child.
It's highly likely. That very status might have been what allowed him to emerge from the fall of his family relatively unscathed. It would also explain why he was able to assume a new identity as a researcher with relative ease.
We discovered something interesting, though. After talking to some of his co-workers, it appears he pretty much works at the Institute in name only. He's practically been cast out.
Apparently,
Why
Pierre
did he
was
get
once
cast out
addicted to
then?
synth. He tried to use the resources at the Institute to create a substance with a similar effect. He claimed it was just for research purposes, but the Institute revoked his access to the relevant materials regardless. He was placed on disciplinary leave, pending a thorough investigation of his actions. But it seems the Institute ran into some trouble along the way. Could have been a lack of personnel or a timing issue. In any case, they had to table their formal investigation into Pierre. Unfortunately, that also included reporting any relevant information to the higher authorities. As for his family background, it appears none of his co-workers at the Institute were aware of that information. All they could tell us was that he was quite the recluse. Other than the pendant, we didn't find anything else of note at his residence in Poisson. Based on the samples of imitation synth we've been able to analyze, it appears the substance leaves behind strong traces wherever it's produced or stored. Those traces might not be obvious to the casual observer, but they're not something our guard poodles would miss. Pierre's home, though, came up completely clean. We didn't find any records indicating possible involvement in overseas transactions either. So, the Marechaussee Phantom didn't view him as a major suspect at first.
Maybe he had a separate, dedicated area where he made the imitation synth.
Well, his neighbors did say he was often gone for long stretches of time. You would think with him out and about so much, people would have spotted him around Poisson, but residents said they barely ever saw him in town. If his reclusive nature was just a matter of keeping a low profile, I guess it would make sense for him to have a secret base to carry out his business.
After he disappeared, the guards conducted a thorough search of Poisson, but they didn't come across any suspicious locations.
Poisson. You know Hotel de Boer, where I first found Bonnie? To get there from Poisson, you have to cross a stretch of ocean. It's not somewhere a cat could just wander off on its own.
A cat? You mean...
Bonnie is Pierre's cat.
Oh, that's right! When the Marechaussee Phantom first tracked him down, I remember there being something about a cat in their report. So this is her?
From what we've learned about Pierre's habits, he doesn't seem like the type to venture out without a purpose. So what you're saying, Lynette, is that Bonnie couldn't have gone missing in Poisson. If that's true, then...
Exactly. Bonnie might even know where it is.
Wait, you think the cat can lead us there? But she's not trained like one of our guard poodles. How is she supposed to understand what we want her to do?
Meow. Meow meow. Meow? Near the coast, the beach, and beneath the cliffs. The place we're looking for is most likely north of the Court of Fontaine.
Well, I've certainly never taken a witness statement like this before.
Well, if it works out, maybe it's something worth getting used to.
Cats and humans are actually pretty alike. When it comes to communication, most of what we want to convey can be accomplished through body language alone. But humans tend to rely too much on speech to ever take advantage of that fact. Of course, body language has its limitations. You're not going to be able to get across anything too complicated.
The important thing is that we now have a lead. Let's try and find a place that matches the clues Bonnie gave us.
Seems like Bonnie is trying to take us somewhere. Artemex ahead.
Look out!
Protect the cat.
I got him cornered. Yeah.
Light it up! Yeah! Got him! Skyward! Rise with the... Skyward!
Let's just out. Let's just out.
Wow, Lynette, you found this place so easily. If I thought there was any chance you'd say yes, I'd recruit you into the Special Patrol here and now, no questions asked.
Sounds familiar. I pretty much receive letters daily from people trying to poach her from me.
Let's just focus on our search.
Aha! Just as we thought. This is where the imitation synth was being made. Looks like he's got more than just imitation synths stashed around here. In addition to the raw materials needed to synthesize the substance itself, there's a large quantity of cleaning agents and a few drugs I haven't been able to identify. These cleaning agents are likely used to dispel traces of the substance, like its smell. The Special Patrol did some digging into imitation synth. Our records indicate that it's very difficult for ordinary people to detect traces left behind by the stuff. I'm sure that was the case for Pierre as well. It must have taken a considerable amount of time and skill to ensure all those traces get washed away. But what are these other drugs for?
When the Marechaussee Phantom searched Pierre's house, there was no sign of these barrels, right? You're right. Only the lower halves of the barrels appear to have been submerged in water.
The material these bags are made of, it's quite rare. It's the very same, actually. Romaritime flower fiber. But there's something special about the composition of these bags. Even the strings look specially designed to keep the bags closed nice and tight. I came across some bags made of the same material just now, but they were much smaller and thinner. From the look, very similar, actually. Normally, it would be easy for a guard poodle to sniff out the imitation synth, but what could these big bags be for then? If the goal is to keep the imitation synth
Based on the various ingredients we've found, this appears to be where Pierre was cooking up his imitation synth.
Matt.
It looks like he used a special cleaning agent to get rid of any residual traces of the substance on
Was
his person
cooking
before
meth.
he left. That's how he was able to get past the guard poodles.
So then he transferred the imitation synth into small sealed bags and took it somewhere else for the
So
drop-off.
was searching for Jesse
No.
Pinkman.
I don't believe our suspect is the kind of person who'd go around carrying incriminating evidence with him. The cleaning agent and the sealed bags might get past the guard poodles, but if a member of the public or even a guard on patrol happened to see him during the drop-off, a quick search would reveal everything.
The barrels we found were wet around the base, but the top half was dry. As if they'd been standing upright in the water. If you put a barrel in the water, it will normally float on its side. Unless it's heavily loaded, in which case it'll sink.
Yes. With flotation rings around the body of the barrels, they'd stay upright in the water. And then he could afford to load them more fully.
You think he used floating barrels? I suppose if he acted at night, when there are very few other boats around and visibility is low, it's a valid theory. We can't rule it out.
But then, wouldn't the barrels be carried off by the waves or the currents? How would the person doing the pickup know where to look?
Traveler, can you come take a dip in the sea with me? I have a feeling that somewhere down there, we might find some rope. If a rope can be used to keep a pet from running away, then why not a barrel?
Skyward!
We have to go underwater.
The wreckage of a small boat? This isn't the place. This isn't the place.
What else is here? Huh? To go away. I don't see anything else though. How did I miss? What the fuck?
Got it. Time to go up and report.
Skyward! Got him!
As expected, we found a few pieces of rope and some anchoring stones underwater. If you attach them to a floating barrel, it would look like this. With this anchoring system, it would be possible to use floating barrels for the drop-off. We also came across the wreckage of a small boat.
Let's talk this through. Based on the evidence we've collected, it seems like Pierre would row a small boat out to the agreed-upon transfer point, drop off the barrels, leave, and then row back and retrieve them after the transfer was complete.
It could be that he was trying to avoid meeting up with his associate face to face. As one of the sole survivors of the Lefebvre family, maybe he was just used to that sort of elusive lifestyle.
It seems like Pierre deliberately chose the floating barrel method so that the goods could be dropped off and picked up at separate times. That way, the two parties wouldn't have to meet each other.
Well, if that's the case, they must not have a very close working relationship.
Let's not jump to any conclusions just yet. Assumptions can be detrimental to solving a case. It's possible they were just trying to keep a low profile. Two boats sailing to the same location at once could be too conspicuous. The most important thing is that we can now confirm Pierre wasn't acting alone. The floating barrel drop-off system is proof enough of that. Let's say for now that he was only in charge of producing the imitation synth. That would mean there has to be at least one other person involved in the operation. Likely.
Since we've determined that the goods were transported by boat, maybe we can track down some travel logs or something.
We can certainly check the various ports for that information. It's possible, however, that Pierre's associate also used a small boat for the transport, and docked along the shore rather than at a large port. If that's the case, it's unlikely there would be any record left behind. Absolutely. Before Pierre disappeared, we made sure to investigate all sorts of outward-bound vessels. We also had port authorities keep a lookout for anything suspicious. Unfortunately, we were never able to find out how they managed to get the imitation synth across the border. You're right. Whatever vessel was used for the pickup, the person responsible for smuggling the substance out of Fontaine would have had to use a larger vessel for the actual transport. That's the only way they would be able to smuggle on a large enough scale to make a profit. They must have found a way to disguise the imitation synth to clear port inspections. Exactly. We can't let any opportunities slip through the cracks. Although, given the amount of ports that could be involved, we should probably split up.
I'll run home and ask some of my brothers and sisters to try and dig up some information.
I should also head back and update my platoon on our progress. I'll grab some reinforcements while I'm at it.
All right. Come on, Bonnie. You too.
Skyward! Scatter! Oh, Lynette, Traveler. And Bonnie, too.
Did something happen?
Oh. I see. I'm in charge of guarding the port. You mentioned you were after some travel logs, right? I can go fetch those for you.
Looks like I've got another hard day of work ahead of me. No, not usually. It's this incident that happened recently. Before that, everything was normal. All we had to do was confiscate anything suspicious and we could call it a day. But things are much more complicated now. We somehow let suspicious cargo pass through the port undetected. Not even our guard poodles were able to sniff it out.
By suspicious cargo, do you mean imitation synth?
Yep. However, prohibited substances are just one example. We confiscate all sorts of contraband during the course of our inspections.
So what happens to the goods you confiscate?
Oh, we keep them in a storage locker. If they turn out to be something particularly dubious, we'll turn them over to the Maison Orderly. If the goods are only slightly suspicious but could otherwise be harmless, like raw materials that could potentially be used to create contraband, we return them to the ship they were confiscated from, instead of letting them pass through the port.
Sorry for the wait. These are the travel logs for all the recent activity at the port.
Oh, you brought Gerard with you.
Actually, he followed me here himself. It's like he smells something on me. Huh. I wonder why Gerard is reacting to you two so strongly.
Huh? We were so careful not to touch it, but we still ended up with traces on us. If it leaves a residue so easily, I just don't understand how the culprit was able to disguise the goods at all.
Why don't you have a look at the travel logs first? All ships coming in and out of the port are recorded here, except for the ones the port authorities ride to and from work.
The Humane Society. Their name is all over the exit logs. The purpose for leaving is always listed as overseas adoption.
The director
What are
of the
they
organization
adopting so
explained that,
aggressively that they have to
He
leave
said a
so
lot of the cat
frequently?
and dog breeds unique to Fontaine are also very popular overseas. So, his organization offers an overseas adoption program.
Bernard, the director of the Humane Society, was the man who came looking for Bonnie earlier. Have you figured it out too, Traveler? The way the criminal disguised the goods? When Bernard asked to take a closer look at Bonnie, he was actually checking whether there was any imitation synth in her stomach.
Wait, what?
The sealed bags we found at the secret base. They were specially made to be corrosion resistant. And there were gaps around the lids of the barrels, and airbags were used to keep them upright in the water. Those drug
Yeah, but
shippers found at
how
the
would you
secret
have a
base.
cat
She most likely didn't recognize them because they're not used
keep
on
a
human
bag?
beings. It's an anesthetic used on pets. The perpetrator must have given it to the animals. Pierre must have made the animals swallow the sealed bags full of imitation synth at his secret base. Then he stuffed them into floating barrels and left the rest to Bernard.
The sealed bags combined with an animal's body odor would certainly be enough to mask the scent of imitation synth.
During our inspections, we would have never thought to inspect the bellies of those animals for anything suspicious. Even if we tried to feel around for something, I'm sure it would be difficult to detect.
Exactly. I bet Bernard even transported animals with synth in their stomach alongside ones without. That way, it would be even harder to say with certainty that
How do
something was
you
amiss.
have the animal swallow such a big bag?
She's probably in the clear. Otherwise, Bernard would have
Those
never
bags
left without
are
her.
pretty
I'm guessing
big.
he didn't know whether Pierre had a... Just imagine. He sees the notice we put in the Steambird, and it turns out that one of the very cats he gave to Pierre for the smuggling operation is out in the open, roaming the streets of Fontaine. If Pierre had already hidden the next batch of imitation synth, then Bonnie would practically be living proof of their crimes. He would have had no choice but to go after her.
So, that's why he came to find you and insisted on taking a closer look at the cat.
Wait a second, I'm a little lost here. I get the part about hiding the substance in the pets, but those... what did you call them again? Floating barrel? If you've got something as convenient as a floating barrel, why not just stuff it with the imitation synth directly? Why not wait to hide the stuff until after the exchange has been made?
In order to make sure the animals could swallow the sealed bags, they made them extremely thin. Had they not done that, the animals would have likely bitten or chewed through them. That step would have required a lot of energy, as well as a certain amount of technical expertise. So, it was better left to the more experienced Pierre. We've already proven how easy it is to pick up trace amounts of imitation synth, so I'm sure Bernard was taking all the precautions he could to avoid the same fate.
Okay, then let's head to the Humane Society right away and
We
bring
don't
that
have any
guy to
proof,
justice.
though.
I'll...
Skyward! Scatter!
The headquarters of the Humane Society should be somewhere around here.
Ah, you're the people from earlier. Wait, you're from the guards?
After him! We can't let him get away! Give it up, Bernard.
Mercy. Have mercy. I'll talk. I'll tell you everything I know.
The Humane
Bro, we
Society
haven't
has
even done
so
anything.
much good over the years, and yet you have committed such an atrocious deed in its name.
Look, I didn't have a choice, okay? My father cared about those blasted animals so much, he didn't bother to take care of his human wife and son at all. While those animals were showered with love, I lived worse than a dog.
No one asked. Tell me, how did you
Nice
first
one,
get to know
Elodie.
Pierre?
Well, after I
He's
took
like,
over the Humane
"Who
Society,
asked?"
it gradually became harder and harder to maintain its operations. Until one day, someone suddenly passed me a letter. It said that I could stand to get a large sum of money as long as I helped them to transport some animals abroad. It was only after a few such transports that I finally understood what I was really transporting. But then, Pierre wrote to me, saying that we were already partners in crime and that I better keep cooperating with him if I didn't want to be reported to the guards.
Shut up. Yeah, sure. Someone told you, bro, have this packet, have your cat eat it, then smuggle it inside your country. And you're like, that must be an honest way of making money?
You
Sure,
knew
I'll
from
do
the
it.
very beginning, didn't you? The reason why you had to go through so many steps just to transport some animals.
I'd suggest that you confess everything right now if you don't want to add anything else to your list of crimes.
Yes, officer. I would order wooden barrels and flotation devices according to his instructions, and then load the sleeping animals onto a boat. Once I sailed to the location he provided, I would dump everything together into the sea. And a few days after that, I'd come by again in my boat and pick up the animals sleeping in the barrels. Once I had received enough of them, I'd bring them to the harbor to be adopted abroad. That guy, Pierre, he was running the entire show. He set up all the meeting times and found all the foreign adopters. Oh, and he even supplied all of the goods too. I just did the transport. He was the one who planned out and executed everything else. Look, I don't know, okay? I've never ever met him in person. We've only ever communicated through letters.
And when did he send his final letter to you?
Just last night, he said that the Marechaussee Phantom is now after him, so he's planning to go into hiding for some time. He didn't mention where he's thinking about going, though, but he did tell me to look out for the guards.
It's been a few days since Pierre's last appearance. I'd wager that he sent that letter after he found his hiding spot.
I burned them. It was on his orders. I had to burn every letter after reading them. I wasn't even allowed to share them with the rest of the Society employees.
Sure sounds like you're trying to use the lack of witnesses or evidence to pin the blame on Pierre.
No, I swear, this time I'm only telling you the truth.
Well, we can check the truth of your statements at the Opera House. I hope you know what'll be coming for you if I were to find any discrepancy between the evidence and the testimony you just gave.
I know, I swear I was just telling the truth.
My thanks to you both.
Bonnie helped, too.
That's true. It was all thanks to her that Bernard was finally exposed. And it looks like she's grown quite fond of you two as well. Then I'll leave you be. Just let me know if you find any other new leads. Now behave, and follow me to the interrogation room.
Ow, that hurt. Ow!
20. I feel like any card I choose will be 20. Oh, never mind.
Is everything really over? I still feel like the relationship between Pierre and Bernard is not as simple as it appears. Also, I've had this strange sense that something's off the entire time we've been on the case. And it has only gotten worse. Ugh. No good. I've still got nothing, and I'm nearly out of energy. Alright, I'll stop thinking about it for now. At the very least, we've made it so that no more animals will suffer like those poor animals did. Let's go to the Humane Society and see if there are any animals left that might still need our help before my energy for today completely runs out. It was that obvious, huh? Well, even though it didn't feel like Bernard was lying, after talking to him, I'm getting an even stronger sense that something's not quite right. We investigated so quickly that perhaps we've missed a thing or two along the way. Let me activate deduction mode and consider things again from the top to see if we can find anything new. Is there still anything unresolved or strange that we should try to consider? Well, we've discovered that Bernard is responsible for the trafficking, while Pierre...
No, not that.
There's no need to rush. Bernard claims to have received a letter last night from Pierre. In the letter, if Bonnie had imitation synth in her body, then she was a liability that had to be recovered at all costs. But if she wasn't carrying anything, then it would have made sense to tell Bernard not to worry. And thinking about it, Bernard only attracted our attention in the first place because he came... Could it be that the person who wrote the letter also knew nothing about Bonnie's whereabouts? The Marechaussee Phantom found Bonnie and the Lefebvre pendant at Pierre's residence. Why would he leave such an obvious trail for us to follow, when he took so much care to not leave any traces of imitation synth in his home?
Now behave, and...
That hurt.
Let's go.
Is there something else you need from me, traveler?
Huh?
I see. It all makes sense now.
Hey, what are you talking about? Look, even our confessed criminal here has no idea what you're saying.
Because he has been kept in the dark all along. And I assume it's the same with Pierre. That never quite added up for me. Why did Pierre feel compelled to return to his home with Bonnie and the pendant, and make them so easy to find for the Marechaussee Phantom? Both of these things are in stark contrast to his usual meticulous and vigilant behavior. There's only one reasonable explanation. He was following orders, just like Bernard. He probably received the following instructions right before the Phantom came knocking on his door. Bring the cat and the pendant, and our undercover agent will be sure to help you. Unbeknownst to him, however, the third person who wrote that letter to him had long decided to sacrifice him and Bernard to save themselves.
What? You can't be serious. There was a third person involved?
If you focus only on Bernard's testimony, it's easy to believe that only Bernard and Pierre were working together. The case appeared extremely simple. Bernard did the trafficking, Pierre the imitation synth production, drugging, and stuffing.
Wait. But that doesn't make any sense. If that's the actual truth, then as soon as Pierre is caught, he'll explain his side of the story and the third person will...
Yep, which is why the third person made sure that Pierre would never be found again. Once they had instructed Pierre to expose himself, the third person wrote to Pierre again, suggesting that everything had been taken care of, and he should take Bonnie and safely return to his base. Of course, Pierre's disappearance at such a sensitive time immediately made him a prime suspect. Knowing that Bonnie had last been seen with him, all the third person would have to do from that point on would be to lead the Phantom to investigate the Humane Society and get Bernard to confess the truth.
Wait, so you're saying that the letter I received yesterday, the one that made me think Pierre was still alive, it was also sent by the third person?
Is that what happened?
Chevra said that assumptions can be detrimental to solving a case. Someone among us, however, has been feeding us all kinds of preconceived notions ever since our first meeting. They suggested that Pierre's disappearance was an attempt to escape the judgment of the law, and that Pierre was a scion of the Nefer family. But if the disappearance is truly just a cover-up for a murder, then couldn't the true scion have been an illegitimate daughter, rather than an illegitimate son?
Huh?
Haven't you taken this joke a bit too far? You're right. I did let a lot of assumptions get to my head when I first started to talk to you about the case. I'll make sure to correct my behavior.
You deliberately fed us lies, but even you could not control every last detail of your plan. There was a flaw in your scheme, and something didn't quite go as planned. Getting the Marechaussee Phantom to notice Pierre was only the first part of your plan. Had they failed to take notice of the Humane Society, they could have cast a wider net. And you couldn't predict what they might possibly find, if given enough time. This, of course, was the main weakness of your plan. As someone accustomed to acting from behind the scenes, you didn't want to take the risk of personally proposing a raid on the Humane Society. So, you thought about pulling a few more strings, so all of the suspicion would point towards Bernard and his society. Once the Phantom expanded their search, it would only be a matter of time before they found Pierre's base. If a cat last seen with the suspect turned up dead at the imitation synth base, it wouldn't be long until the Phantom would figure out exactly how she had been mistreated and turn their eyes towards the one organization that has been sending boatloads of animals out of Fontaine. It was probably during your ambush of Pierre. You didn't even have the time to check if she had already been stuffed full of imitation synth. Still, you soon found another opportunity. Before long, Bonnie had made her way back into the city, and even popped up on the Steambird. Like Bernard, you desperately wanted to confirm the contents of her stomach, so you hurried to find us. Unlike Bernard, however, you were hoping that Pierre did have the time to make her swallow a load of imitation synth. While investigating the suspect's cat, we unexpectedly discovered that the suspect has been smuggling imitation synth using living animals as intermediaries. That was your plan, in any case. With that, you'd have been able to lead the investigation towards the Humane Society. Bonnie had managed to escape before Pierre was able to stuff her full of imitation synth. That part of your plan could no longer be carried out. But as shrewd as you were, you came up with another plan. You manipulated the Traveler and I to help you identify Bernard as a key suspect. You used the Nefer name as bait to get us to join your investigation. With 2 extra bodies around, the Special Patrol is sure to soon take note of the strange event of Bernard somehow having a reason to look for Pierre's cat.
So, what you're saying is, I went to all that trouble just for the chance that you might put forth the suggestion that would lead you down the wrong path.
Of course, you did far more than that. Just now at Lumidus Harbor, were you not the person who highlighted the suspicious activities of the Society?
Oh.
You even highlighted the Society's activities during your compilation of the logs, so they'd be immediately visible to anyone examining the records. Moreover, the logs contained no records of the Port Authority's activities. In other words, your activities.
And what are you trying to suggest with that?
I am insinuating that you had plenty of opportunities to transfer the raw materials for imitation synth from the harbor to a boat, and then sail over to the meeting place full of floating barrels. And that's how neither the trafficker nor the manufacturer knew there was a third person who supplied the raw materials, and surreptitiously operated between them. Pierre manufactured imitation synth using the raw materials you provided, stuffed the animals, and placed the animals back into the barrels. Having received the green light from you as Pierre, Bernard then retrieved his animals and shipped them out of Fontaine once he had received enough for a full batch. This is the truth behind your smuggling ring.
I can't believe it. I never put 2 and 2 together.
You've sure got an extremely lively imagination.
So what do you think she's going to say next?
Ever thought about a career in writing crime novels, huh?
It appears that it's quite easy to predict what you'll think or say. Then if we apply that to this case, we can also think of a few places to look for incriminating evidence. You know very well that this case will not end until Pierre is found, so you will have him commit suicide out of fear and shame to end the investigation for good. That way, you can also pin the blame for the overseas smuggling activities, the theft of the harbor's confiscated raw materials, and even the Nefer name on him. But you still want it to appear as if he had sent that last letter to Bernard, so you have to make sure he cannot be found until after Bernard has confessed to the authorities. To do that, you either will hide his body until you've found an appropriate time to set up a fake suicide scene, or you'll dump it someplace where it'll be hard to determine the exact time of death. The location would ideally allow you to keep the body hidden for some time while also letting you keep an eye on it. There are only so many options to hide a person's time of death after all. As long as the Phantom investigates each of the possibilities in turn, they'll surely find Pierre's remains. Especially since, as the prime suspect who will now be taken into custody, you will no longer have the time to move him, or set up a fake suicide scene to cover up the murder.
How absurd. And on what grounds will you order my arrest? Don't think for a second that your spouts of nonsense will amount to any kind of real argument. After all,
Elodie Lefebvre! As the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol, I hereby declare you as a suspect in the case. If you have any objections, you may raise them later during interrogation.
That's right. We received a message from Lumidus Harbor that you were going to investigate the Humane Society. We didn't expect to run into you at such a critical moment.
While at the harbor, we noticed something else extremely interesting. Apparently, you often used all kinds of excuses to swap your shifts. And if one were to match the times of your shifts to the activities of the Humane Society and those of certain foreign ships, they'd find them to be an exact match.
That's just a coincidence.
Yes, I'm sure you have already thought of a dozen different ways to explain away the suspicious activities. But as far as evidence goes...
Don't worry. If it turns out that the guards are still unable to find any evidence after all this, Lynette and I will do everything in our power to clear your name.
I'm not playing. I'm not playing another.
Although judging by her reaction, I assume no follow-up from us will
lawyer.
be needed.
The Lefebvres were infamous for using disguise and infiltration to achieve their goals. Who would have thought that they would have planted someone within the Guard?
Judging from the timeline, they likely arranged for you to enter the Guards before the fall of the clan. But they probably didn't expect you to turn it to your advantage and use your job to save yourself during the purge.
Not only that, but you actively participated in the interrogation, arrest, and judgment of the Lefebvres during their fall. Thus, you brutally and cruelly abandoned your allies as soon as they outlived their usefulness. Just like a lizard cutting off its own tail in order to live.
So you played me like a fool after all? Ah!
What was that word you used? Ally? You think that someone as foolish as him is worthy to call himself my ally? They were worthless scum, all of them. Not just Bernard and Pierre, but those Lefebvres too. I lost all my chances of a normal life just because I was born into their lot. Not only that, but because they wanted me to become an undercover agent, they stripped me of my name, too. I had to live in constant fear of them while they were alive.
No one
Even
asked.
once they were gone, I had to continue to bury my heritage and my name. Do you know anything about what I've...
I don't, and neither do I care.
Are you for real? Aren't you a Lefebvre victim too?
Elodie, you're the only one still living under the shadow of a name.
That's enough. Keep your hands where I can see them and do not resist arrest. If you have more to say, save it for the interrogation room.
What a joke. What a joke! Hey!
What is that?
Don't come any closer!
What's that?
Know what this is? I've secretly... Whether they're cats, dogs, or just unlucky human employees. They'll all be blown up into smithereens. Surely, you bunch of goody two-shoes won't let that happen, right?
Persuasion, deception. Let's go with deception. 15. I just have to get 7, I guess. Let's go with this. 10. Clutched it.
I can understand how you feel. Like you, we are also victims of the Lefebvre clan. But if you were to endanger innocence now for your own gain, the public anger towards the Lefebvres would only rise to a boiling point, and the families of the new victims would be dead set on exacting revenge on you.
And what of it?
I'll be your hostage, Elodie.
What?
Thanks for your concern, Traveler. But we need to end all of the hate and violence arising from this clan once and for all. I'll raise my hands and come over slowly. I promise that I'm completely unarmed.
I'm watching you. Don't think for a second you can...
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Ah!
Phew. So I was right after all. It's easier to deal with the person causing... This is it. Looks like it's just a toy.
Guess that's probably why she suddenly flipped and knocked out Bernard. He probably knew that there were no explosives at the society.
Well, given that she never even showed her face to Bernard and Pierre, I had my doubts that she'd...
Thank you for your help, everyone. I'll take them back for thorough questioning, and find someone better to take over the Humane Society.
If statements are all you need, I still need to go back and explain some things to the crew. Ah, so you do remember. Yeah, once I'm done talking with the troop, I'll make a nice cup of tea and bring Bonnie to wait for you outside of my door.
Why not inside? I've never been to the inside of House of the Heart. They're just lying unconscious.
You can leave the rest of this to me. The other... The materials have many... The harbor would usually just seize them for some time while the given that the foreign merchants who sent in the shipments were probably... We will, of course, continue to investigate...
What does Lynn say?
Lynette must have spent a record-breaking amount of time in serious mode today. Based on information that we found before, I'd assume that the first offerings of imitations, Elodie saw the opportunity to make a great profit and she started writing to him in Bernard's name. Unfortunately for her, she ran into Lynette. Still, all of that thinking...
Black tea and a cute kitty. Truly the best combo for standby mode. Want some? I hope you'll like it. Not at all. Information is indeed very important, but if you were to try to collect every piece of information you come across, your efficiency would actually decrease. Plus, if you just think about it, what sounds more fun? Writing a statement or enjoying a tea party? Great answer. That'd be my pick too. Had we not run into that case, we could have spent the entire day like this. But now, I'm running low on both time and energy. You're right. I can sense it. Something about her rubbed me the wrong way since the very beginning. But to be more precise, it was probably around the time when I saw Bonnie try to get away from her. Elodie tried to get close, but Bonnie deliberately dodged her. Maybe Bonnie had tried to evade her before at Pierre's base. Not everyone who likes cats is a good person. But if cats like you, you're probably alright. Humans tend to overthink things, but cats rely on their instincts, and they're pretty sharp. She took a liking to you the moment you met.
Sake, just can you not just give me one? The one I'm clicking on?
I didn't like that. Clearly, there's some design flaws to... Let's see... Huh? What you're saying is, since nobody's come looking, I can just keep hanging out with Bonnie for a bit longer? Is that really okay? You make a good point. Okay, well... Assuming Bonnie hasn't strayed too far from where she went missing, there's a chance we might bump into her owner in either the Steambird offices or the restaurant. So, stick around here in standby mode? Yeah, that suits me. Oh, good idea. Bonnie's definitely hungry. May as well. We could be here a while. When I was trying to find somewhere I could space out earlier. Alright then. Plan of action?
That's a cute ending.
Huh. I didn't like that. Was I using it wrong? Maybe if I just... So, we're looking for... Huh. I didn't like that. Back to the drinks reception. Nope, I said it was your decision. I'm not gonna waste any more energy dragging my feet. Besides, the drinks reception is technically part of the job as an I might get sued for breach of contract, and that would be a huge pain in the butt. One other thing. Do you want to come with me? If you're free, I mean. Thanks.
Yeah, skyward!
There you are, Lynette! Where did you disappear to? Leone and I have been looking everywhere for you. Wait, where did you get the cat?
I found her outside. Do either of you happen to recognize her?
I don't think so. Could belong to one of the guests, I suppose.
Fair enough. It was a long shot.
So sorry we couldn't help you, Lynette.
Don't worry. We'll ask around for you. Leone's probably just being forgetful.
Maybe you could leave her with us. We'll take her to the reception desk and see if...
Sure. I would help, but I'm a little preoccupied.
It's no trouble at all.
Also, if it's no trouble, I mean...
Leone! You can't spring that on her now. Not while she's working. One last thing, Lynette. Director Mary is looking for you. We'll take the cat to the front desk now. See you later.
I'm not usually required at these kinds of events, so I don't even have an event mode.
Spectacular choreography, a masterpiece of mise
My
en
God.
scène, and the performance. Oh my god.
Yes, I for one was particularly such a pioneering...
I'm not reading all of that.
I can already see that.
Not that either.
But it was a group effort, of course, to convey emotions in a silent show.
Speaking of the cast, Jillian, another strong performance from you in
That's quite an overstatement.
On that point, you stated a few months ago in an interview that you were looking to secure a leading role in your next show.
We had a discussion about this, and while Lynette hadn't previously performed in an acting role, quite simply, this was the role she wanted.
Exactly. I was honored to share the stage with her. Lynette worked extremely hard in all of the rehearsals, and she's an incredibly talented actress.
Oh, Lynette's back!
Hey, Lynette, where have you been?
Were you in standby mode? Some reports say you switched that state to recharge after a show.
Ah, method acting, of course. Such a compelling...
Those seemingly stilted movements were in fact an inspired portrayal of...
I went outside and there was this cat.
A cat? We've long heard...
This show looks on track to break box office records for avant-garde theater.
Not really, no.
I believe Lynette is trying to say that the act of
Oh.
performance itself...
Stop being a fucking Redditor for a second.
Lynette, any...
Right, exactly.
But don't you want the fans to know how you're feeling right now, after the hugely successful opening of your first ever show?
That's true.
I'm sure the fans would love to learn a bit more.
How interesting.
It's cool.
Oh, really?
Huh? Wait, you're the traveler who's been in the news!
Wow, are you a fan of Lynette too? Do you...
Yeah, it's just... Turns out, even with you here to share the load, I can't cope with this stuff. I met at a tea party. I'm not normally subjected to a constant stream of questions. I think I'd rather pray that I never have to do it again.
Lynette, Director Mariu would like you to join the group photo to...
A group photo?
It's just the members of the troupe, along with Maloney and Corentin.
Alright then. See you in a minute.
3, 2, 1, smile.
My thanks to each and every one of you here for your help in making The Lost Puppet. You can collect your copy from the first floor after the drinks reception concludes. May it serve as a reminder of this fabulous performance every time you see it.
Mariu! Get over here. Let's have another drink.
I thought the group photo was the final hurdle. Well, at least there's no more people hounding me with questions.
Hotel de Bour's Ile Flottante is Traveler? Lynette? Oh, wait, hold on. What do you mean, managed to get an invite? Naturally, people wanted to hear my comments on the emerging art form that is the masked mime show. Remarkable, and a very worthwhile artistic endeavor, exploring a character with no lines or facial expressions who can only communicate how they feel through their movement. Your performance was beyond anything I could have imagined, Lynette. Clearly, this was a very suitable role for you indeed. Is something wrong?
No, it's nothing. Please go on.
Oh, basically, I think I'd give it a positive review overall.
So, you thought they were pretty over the top too?
In fairness, it's normal to bring along some vocal supporters for publicity when a new show opens. Then again, I'm no specialist in avant-garde theater. Maybe I'm just not well acquainted with their
He said that word.
Or maybe it's because I came to the show with some preconceived expectations. I did happen to see the original draft of Mariu's script a while back.
What original draft?
Oh? He didn't show it to you? It must have been a few months ago. He came to me to get some advice from an experienced performer's perspective, and then asked if I could write a few reviews of his new play. I had a lot on my plate at the time, so I had to turn him down. I only skimmed a few sections, but they seemed quite different from the final version. I can't say I remember the plot, but I don't know. The protagonist just seemed more complex, I guess, especially in the last two scenes. Still a mechanical puppet on the outside, of course, but she seemed to have more emotional depth on the inside.
Emotional depth?
Oh, I'm just thinking aloud here. Don't take it to heart. Besides, a script and a play are two very different beasts. There are so many fine details to consider when turning a story into a stage production, especially with a novel art form like a masked mime show. I'm sure Mariu had his reasons for the changes he made. Change of topic. I see you've escaped the crowds to seek refuge on the second floor. Fame can be overwhelming at first, can't it?
Perhaps you'd benefit from hearing about the experiences of a veteran celebrity such as myself.
No thanks, I'm good. Pretty sure this will be my first and last time in this situation.
No thanks. I'm
Hey,
good.
please let me finish. I have top tips on dealing with belligerent reporters, slipping away to hunt down snacks during the intermission.
Tell me everything.
First,
He
take a
heard
seat, mon
snacks.
ami. We must partake of Hotel de Boer's fine desserts as we talk, lest they go to waste.
That was very educational. I expect most of the people downstairs have left by now. The photo must be in this envelope right here. If it wasn't for you, I don't know how I would have standby moded my way through the last... It's fine. It's just... It was such a minor thing. While I was on stage, there was a moment when I felt like someone was looking at me. It was only... I got a vague sense of it again during the reception. Like someone... Normally, I'm used to lurking in the shadows on the stage and spying on other people. So, it was strange. Feeling like I was the one. Or someone just took a disliking to me for no real reason. Sometimes you can like one person and dislike another for equally pointless reasons. Okay,
I think
problem
it's
solved.
Giselle
I'm gonna
or
take this envelope
Giselle.
and go home now.
Her name, she was meant to be the main character, but they changed it to Lynette, and after the script changed it, probably that's why.
You have destroyed this work of art. Step down from the leading role at what? I don't think we're gonna find any more clues here. Yes, let's. Whatever destroyed means, it could have something to do.
I can't believe how well the whole Lynette's debut acting role thing worked out.
How could I ever have doubted you? If you hadn't stuck to your guns and kept sending those invitations.
See? I told you. All the times she'd refused in the past were all the more reason to keep inviting. Can you imagine if you'd gone with Jillian? You'd have been
Yeah,
lucky to
Jillian,
get
that's
half
her
the
name.
ticket sales you've ended up with.
True. Well, Jillian still needs to get a few more productions under her belt.
Jillian sent that threat letter because she was meant to be the main
Do
leading
you have a
role,
moment, Director Mario?
the older.
Ah, if it isn't the
Older
star
script.
of the show. I'm guessing you're here to discuss the show with the director? Oh, I'll leave you artists to discuss your work.
I certainly will. Lynette carries the fortunes of...
Mr. Maloney. An investor or something, I think.
So, what can I do for the two of you? I'm afraid I'll have to dash soon as I'm meeting...
We heard that the original script for The Lost Puppet was quite different from the final show.
Oh, well, this is a surprise. It's not uncommon for scripts to undergo major changes as they're being brought to the stage. But I'm a mechanical puppet with a bumbling body but a sensitive soul. A strange, there's no doubt about it. You are the protagonist, and the protagonist is you. The success of one is the success of the other, and that's what made this show an artistic triumph.
Sorry, you've lost.
All right then. Delving deep in, you shouldn't give your attention to early drafts of the script, Lynette. All it would do is the current script is the final version because it is the best version. and your performance best brings that script to life. What letter? Oh my goodness! Destroyed this work of art? Really?
Well, Director Mariyu?
No. Who on earth would write such nonsense?
Who on earth indeed?
Absolutely not. Without Lynette, this show would be over. Everyone's hard work would go to waste. No, there's no way that this is someone from the troupe.
I'm pretty sure it's Jillian. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's someone who cares about Jillian a lot.
Yeah,
Could
maybe
be.
Jillian could fill in for me for a while.
What? No way, out of the question. The protagonist has to be played by Lynette. Jillian can't... She's just not what the audience is looking for. Ah, I've got it. It's a competitor. Yes, this letter must be from a competitor of ours who's trying to get under Lynette's skin. You can't lie low. That's just what they want you to do. The moment you step back from performing, they'll put their rumor mill into overdrive and drag us through the mud. They're just waiting for their chance to kick us while we're down.
A competitor? Really?
Definitely. Those lowlifes. Slander and libel are all their specialties. There's so many of them out there. Stay strong, Lynette, and keep up.
So, a competitor, huh? I kinda doubt it. We've dealt with those types before. Usually their goal is to steal our venue for their own show, or to cover up a scandal by planting a story to... But at the moment, I don't think anyone's got a reason to do any of that stuff. Besides, when I felt that evil stare, I'm actually more concerned about Mariyu. Especially since Maloney mentioned that the initial plan was to... Sounds like there was an original protagonist as well as an original script. Yep, she told me...
Underground?
Yeah, skyward! Lynette? What are you doing? You're not welcome here.
I've been to the Fleuve Sandra plenty of times before. This is the first I'm hearing about me not being welcome.
Things are different around here. You might be used to a crowd of bootlicking morons fawning over you wherever you go.
Bootlicking morons? I don't know. I've never met this kid before.
Gina, stop that! Go home now!
Jillian!
No, but... How many times do I have to tell you? That had
Might be
nothing
this
to do
kid
with
then,
Lynette.
yeah. I might be
If
right.
you don't leave right now, I swear I'll...
Might be someone who cares about
I'll
Jillian.
never invite you to one of my shows ever again!
Jillian! I... Just because a lady for...
Shut up, kid. Go home. Fuck off.
I'm so
I don't have time to the
Gina's
little
always
shit.
been a strong-willed child. That's why I never let her visit me at work.
It's okay. I have younger siblings too, so I get it. She's in her rebellious phase, huh? If you let angsty kids get you riled up, they'll drain all your energy. So don't worry, I won't let it get to me.
Well, this situation's a little different in this case, but still, thank you. So, what brings you to the Fleuve Sandra?
We heard about it from Maloney. He said you were originally supposed to play the lead.
Maloney, huh? Of course he couldn't keep his mouth shut. I'm sorry. I never mentioned it because Director Mariu was very clear that I mustn't let any of it affect you. What's this? I don't know, who would do something like this?
Don't be scared, Jillian. Just tell us what you know.
Okay, I'll try. It's true. I've worked with Director Mariu many times before, but only in minor roles. The audiences and critics never had much to say about me. Nothing. A few months ago, Mariu started working on a new show, so I plucked up the courage to ask him if I could take the leading role. He was hesitant, but he agreed to let me try for the part. We did a few rehearsals, everything seemed to be going okay.
There's been a change of plan, Jillian. The leading role will now be played by Lynette.
Lynette? But she always turns these things down, doesn't she?
And that's why we cannot afford to waste this opportunity. Jillian, I understand how you must be feeling. But Maloney and myself have to do what's best for the production as a whole. Next time, the lead will be yours. I promise.
I was incredibly disappointed at first, but I also know full well that I don't have Lynette's star power. Without Lynette, how could we ever convince people to pay money to go and see a masked mime show? And if the show was a flop with me in the leading role, how would I answer to the director and the rest of the cast? Then, I got to meet you on stage and found that you're really down to earth, in a way that not many celebrities are. You were kind to everyone, and your performance wasn't bad. Whatever disappointment I had left at that point, I certainly wasn't about to take it out on you.
By wasn't bad, you mean it wasn't great either. So, I'm guessing Mariu changed the script to simplify the protagonist, make her a dumbed-down version of the mechanical puppet that I could actually play.
He did make some changes to the script, yes. Jaik, one of the other actors. He likes to collect Dr. Mariu's old drafts because he hopes to be a director himself one day. He also lives nearby. I can arrange for you to meet him at the tavern.
Makes sense. I always see him talking to Mariu.
I'm pretty sure it's Gina.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Jillian brought me up to speed on the situation. I'm here to help however I can. Here, this is the script you're after. That's always the way with pen and paper drafts. Even the final script is full of last-minute changes by the director. There should be a cleaner copy of the original script in here somewhere. Sorry, it's all...
No problem. Now activating search mode.
15. Ah, good enough. Ah, that did not go well.
The protagonist returns to the ruins where she began and performs a dance in honor of her deceased companions. She dances until her joints have rusted stiff and mechanical parts are falling from her body. Yep. That's not something a novice could hope to pull off after just a few months of rehearsals. Frankly, I think that the original script is much better, and the original lead is the best fit. Jillian, shall I go tell Mariu to put you back in the leading role?
What? Are you serious? But the next show is at the Opera Epiclese. It's...
But not such a rare one for me, though, right?
That's different. This isn't you as part of a magic duo. It's a chance to star as the main character.
Fame in small doses has its perks, but too much and I'll get overloaded. But if you play the lead, the fame will be yours, and I get to be free. Sounds like a win-win, don't you think?
It'll never work. There's no way Director Mary, the set for Act 4 would need to change, as would all the marketing materials. And changing actors at the last minute is just too risky. If anything went... Plus, Maloney's friends have already published a ton of articles saying how this is the role that Lynette was born to play. If Lynette quit the show and I took her place... If Lynette left, they'd sooner stop the whole show than let me take her place.
Stop the whole show? But all the people in the troupe, months and months of everyone's...
Oh, there's no way. There's no way. Oh my god. There's just no way.
Consent, huh? And that way, he'll be forced to make a choice.
You know, it's a little crazy, but it might actually work.
No way. It's not worth taking.
Jillian, you said before, whatever disappointment I had left, in other words, that disappointment is still there. Be honest. You still hope to play the leading role, don't you?
But the thought of putting so many people out just for my sake?
You think they'd be put out?
Jillian, you were more dedicated than anyone during the rehearsals for the original script. And I think you know that unless we decide to make a stand here, the path we're on is only going to take us further and further from our dreams. So take it from me. You would not be putting us...
You guys... Okay. Let's do it.
Yes! I knew...
Wonderful.
Wait, but what about the threat
As long as we stick to the plan, I'll give up the lead.
But surely you want to know who it's from.
I doubt they will. It's supposed to be a threat, but they didn't even say what would happen if I don't meet their demands. Plus, the handwriting is...
It's just Gina, we know.
Maybe it was just a fan of yours having a moment.
A fan? Of me?
Maybe there's someone out there who really appreciates your talent.
Oh my god. I just can't stop fumbling.
It's getting late. Come on. Sorry for manhandling you. You looked like you were seconds away from figuring out who sent the letter, so I had to act fast. It was Gina, Jillian's sister.
Just because Lady for
I'm so sorry. Gina's always...
I guess she must have snuck into the drinks reception and overheard our conversation with... She idolizes Jillian, both as an older sister. To make matters worse, all the critics were hailing this amateur as a perfect fit for the role. And even Fontaine's... Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Like I said, getting angry at angsty teenagers is draining. If it was my younger brother or sister and they found out I'd been treated unfair, I was in Jillian's position once. back when so I can understand Gina's frustration. No, the way she looks at me is indignant, frustrated, but not malicious. Whoever was giving me that evil stare was backstage. Blending into the crowd at a drinks reception is one thing. We'll find out who it is before too long. On that note, guess...
Skyward!
Oh.
You really are one trick.
Oh, you're here. Lynette and Jillian are busy
That puppet in the middle. Is that Lynette?
It's starting. Keep your voice down.
Wow, I thought it would be hard to follow, but in the end, it was actually very clear.
Even though her face was expressionless and she didn't speak the whole time?
Director Meryu really is a master of his craft.
I have a friend who saw the show on the opening day. They thought the critics overstated how good it...
I can't believe it's only been a few days since the...
Your penchant for the hyperbolic strikes again, Amory.
Well...
What's the matter?
My apologies, Mr. Maloney.
Oh, very well. Hey.
Are you guys sure this is gonna work? We're already halfway there. We can't...
What is this plan that you're so intent on...
Director Meryu!
Korantan and Armory have both finished their articles. I went to greet them as a mere formality, but you seem to have availed yourselves of my absence. Was that really Lynette playing the lead role?
Ta-da!
Director Meryu?
I switched costumes and masks with Jillian so that I could be the protagonist's companion and stay out of the limelight.
Lynette, why on...
You know my acting is amateur. The only reason I'm being seen as a pro, let alone a pioneer, is because you have critics supporting the show. If they'd seen me in the leading role during the first half, they wouldn't be expecting anything more. But what happens now that they've seen Jillian in the role? If you force me to play the lead in the second half, they'll be wondering, why is the actress suddenly giving such an underwhelming performance right at the climax of the whole story? These are just some of the questions that will be on everyone's minds during the second half. There's only one way for you to save your reputation.
Absolutely not. I'd sooner announce that we're having... If I keep Jillian as the lead for the second half, what do you think will happen in the curtain call when she... What will your fans think? They're only here because of you. And what about all the critics who support you? There'd be tickets to refund.
That's the thing though, they shouldn't be here just because
the whole truth. You can't just take a
they're
job on a
here
whim,
for
then
her.
abandon your responsibility the moment you don't feel like doing it anymore.
Director Meryu, please. You're not being fair to Lynette.
Actually, Jillian, he's half right. I did kind of take this on a whim, but my responsibility here is making sure you get back the role that belongs to you.
And I guess part of that responsibility lies with me, considering... Sorry I'm a little late to the show.
Lenny? What do you want? Do you think you can snap your finger?
That might be a little tricky, but
What's this?
A draft complaint letter, my contract, your legal fees, reimbursement for the tickets, and an advance on the penalty fee for breach of contract. Mr. Meryu, I'm stepping down from the leading role, regardless of whether you choose to cancel the rest of today's show.
If you do suffer unforeseen financial losses from this, you're free to seek damages as per the contract. And if you want to file a lawsuit, there's a draft here that you can use if you need it.
I can't believe... Of course. All this Mora, it's a pittance to you, isn't it? Must be nice to have the Look at us. We're huge stars. One minute we want to go on stage. The next we feel like backing out of the contract. But that's okay. You don't give a hoot how much this show means to other people. You don't even...
That's not true. I do care. And I'm under no illusion as to how much this show means to you.
Oh, brilliant deduction there. Of course it means a lot to me. This is my show. That's the only...
Really? Then why do your eyes tell a different story? The way you look, almost as if I've destroyed your work of art.
What? I would never think...
A couple days ago, I asked some associates to do some digging for me. I was interested to know who else you invited to play the lead apart from Lynette. Surprise, surprise. Turns out that all the other famous actresses you asked either had prior commitments or weren't a good fit for the role.
And I would have turned you down too, if not for an unlikely set of coincidences.
You didn't send those invitations because you were looking for a better actress than Jillian, but because your investor wanted a big name in your show, right?
Director Mariu.
To get Maloney on your side, you chose to make Jillian the understudy, and then look for an opportunity for her to take the lead.
I bet you were torn at first, weren't you? Do you stick to the tried and tested formula?
Or do you choose Jillian, so that you and your longtime collaborator can stage the show of your dreams?
Oh, I didn't. I didn't betray myself.
You mentioned prior success and fame earlier, but you're a well-known director yourself, with countless works to your name. Or maybe, deep down, none of your current achievements really count as success to you.
Right now, you have an opportunity to send Jillian onto that stage and perform the second half as you always imagined it. Your work would be displayed for all of Fontaine to see, in its true, perfect form.
Did you say... perfect?
Or will you act now before Maloney and the critics can protest and make your dream come true on the stage? And Jillian's dream. In fact, the dreams of the whole troupe.
The whole troupe?
Director Mariu. Actually, most of the money Lenny brought came from us. We all chipped in.
We've worked with you for many years now. Your troupe has been here for you all the way from the empty... We watched as you slowly started down...
But this is just a temporary measure. I did it for the good of the troupe.
Yes, we know. Back when you started, you had to bite the bullet and do these things to keep the troupe afloat. But then what happened? You began to embrace these methods more and more, becoming so reliant on them that every show you put out is overhyped by the media, and every script you write is edited to suit some celebrity's needs. Surely you must have noticed what's happening. While we've been performing at bigger and bigger theaters with each show, the applause is getting quieter and quieter each night. And the criticism from people... Maloney's friends are sycophants. They don't care if the audience is disappointed because the show doesn't live up to their...
Look, I know everyone's using the same promotional tactics, but...
Well, it's just a stopgap solution.
Next time, huh? Yeah. Next time, you won't use your connections. Next time, you won't pay off the critics.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. If you make some money once, you'll want to do it again, then again. Slowly but surely, you turn your back on your dreams.
I won't turn my back on my dreams any longer, Director Mariu. No.
Me neither.
Look at this dude. If I fumble here, I swear, dude. 5 at 10. It's really hard to fumble here. It's impossible to fumble here. You know what? Never mind.
Hi.
I was crazy once. They locked me in a room.
Huh. The plot here seems a little different from what the reviews said.
The protagonist wanted to return to the stage, so the puppets replaced all her parts with the latest ones available.
And in the end, she forgot herself amidst the applause and cheers of her fellow puppets.
Hey, no spoilers. Huh?
Oh, Archons.
No need to be so nervous, Director Mariu. We only told you Lynette would be quitting the show to get you to make a decision. We wanted you to believe that this show would have to end after today, no matter what. In truth, I believe that if we choose our words carefully, there's no reason we can't get Maloney to come around and keep the show going.
You really thought this plan through. What's worrying me now isn't how Maloney will react, it's the audience. I've always thought the original script. What if people only came to see the show for Lynette? It feels like I've been hiding inside my...
We're right here with you. We'll watch it to the end.
Wow. Okay, this ending is much better.
I love how they brought back the set from Act 1 and gave it a whole new meaning. What a fantastic twist.
Time for the curtain call. I could always leave my mask on. No one would ever know.
There's a few seats that are empty.
This is what fame looks like.
The back.
When it's...
Jillian, you were amazing! Well...
Really? What looked like an actor unsteady on her feet wasn't...
Hey, Mario! What the heck was that?
Our articles are already going to press. You better have a...
Hey now, it was all...
Hold on. The decision was mine, and mine alone.
Marry you? So it was you? Well then.
Director Mariu, Mr. Maloney, what on earth is going on? Why was Lynette not in the lead role? It took a lot of convincing from me for her to accept the role, and I had to turn down some big...
Lenny, it was all his idea.
Wait, Linny, as a matter of fact, this was a piece of performance art. In this play, the masks and costumes served to obscure the... We took that idea to the
Let's
next
go through the
level with
bullshit.
an actor swap, blurring the lines between one performer and the next. It's similar to deceiving the audience in a magic show. We employed it allows the audience to more intuitively understand the cognitive dissonance felt by...
Hold up! What is...
Oh, I see. Well, bravo, Director Mariu.
That's probably more because you just don't really understand avant-garde art very well, Lynn.
Maybe so, maybe so. Well...
You must have worked it out by the end of the first half, surely. Mr. Amory, I just heard that you managed to write your review after just the first 2 acts.
Yes, you're right. Director Mariu and I...
Yes, well, to deceive the audience, you must first deceive your closest companion.
You mean your show was partly inspired by Lynette's background in magic?
Unfortunately...
Cancel the show? Mr. Maloney.
While I accept that deceiving the audience in the manner you did...
A very valid criticism. And one plus, it looks like Jillian is better than me at delivering the excellence people want to see.
Maloney, I believe there should still be time to tweak...
Oh, one other thing. We managed to get a meeting with Lady Farina earlier. All thanks to the Traveler's reputation, of course. Anyway, she agreed to write a review focusing on Jillian's performance, and I'm sure today's audience will be discussing her performance too.
Oh, I mean...
Oh, of course. Always good to put some thought into these things.
Quarantan, Amory, let's go.
points for agility.
Thank you both. I always told myself that once I'd made enough... Just like those critics with their dishonest... You're right. Yes. Anyway, enough of... I've been looking into it a lot over the past couple of days.
Ah, yes.
Lynette, do you...
Wait.
I'm sorry. Gina insisted on
Lynette!
Yeah, me neither.
Wait.
Oh, do you mean when we ran into you at the Fleuve Sandra? And you said some mean things to me? As I recall, you were only
Oh. I see. Well, it sounds like Gina knows what she did was wrong.
I understand that feeling of wanting to stand up for your... But next time, maybe consider a different tactic? Something you can pull off more effectively.
Got it.
Why do I feel like I'm missing something?
Hey, here you are. Great! Everyone's in one place. What do you think? It's group photo time. We have to... Okay, everyone, we all have pretty awkward...
Oh, am I really not... I'll try, I suppose.
Lynette, Traveler, come on. 3, 2, 1, smile!
Didn't get to see the photo? What the fuck? Okay, I do. Like, what's the photo? There should be one more ID. So wait.
Thank you both so...
That letter?
What?
Gina?
Director, it's time for... I think we came at a...
Lynette, Gina...
Jillian, no! This is completely my fault.
Well, since I haven't... Maybe we could just...
Really?
After all, Gina wouldn't be the first... In any case, I think we can all...
But still... I was wrong to...
If... The crew could always use an extra hand.
Thank you, Lynette.
That's the ending.
Is it? I'm so... Mary, you said she's a very promising young actress. Phew. Freedom at last. I'm happiest when I get to sit in a quiet place. Yep.
Just like
exactly like I'm doing now.
There's no performance going on. What the hell? I'm not using the current power. Okay. Fuck myself, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna end the stream here for today. And I think the 6.2 launch is the day after tomorrow. I think so. I think it launches the day after tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna stream tomorrow. I'm probably gonna stream after the new version. Alright, good night. Wait, one last thing. This should be a one last. Yeah, let's do this one. And we'll end the stream with this.
Traveler, Paimon.
What's wrong, Columbina? You look like something's troubling you.
Do you have any paint with you?
Oh! You're... Malaus, right? In the mood for more painting, huh? Looks like you got most of the paint on yourself, though. How did that happen?
Malaus left for a bit and came back like this. I anticipate this paint will take quite some time to wash off.
Huh. Maybe Malaus ran into trouble while out searching for inspiration. Still, this isn't a bad look at all. Oh, and about the paint? We just... Now that's one happy Kuhenki. Let's find some warm, happy colors that... That should do it, right? Oh, there she goes, painting away already. Dear judges, prepare to be amazed. What kind of masterpiece will our talented Kuhenki artist bring us? Huh? You're done already? Well, let's see here.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Another drawing of Columbina. Is that a forest somewhere in Notcry? There are so many little animals.
I'm afraid you would have to go back to the time before I left the Frost Moon Scions to see a scene like this.
Wow! I'm so jealous!
Yes. Most of them were drawn to the Kuvaki around me. They felt safe curling up next to me like that.
Oh, that's so awesome!
I would say the sheik badgers were the nicest to pet. They're the ones with the big, fluffy tails. The fur on a rhyme-horned deer's neck is quite soft as well. It makes a very comfortable pillow. Which do you prefer?
We don't really have the same kind of experience to go on, but Paimon would probably choose to pet a sheik badger's tail.
Sheik badgers can be quite timid. If you want to pet them, they need to feel safe first. But I would exercise caution, Paimon.
Why? Do they bite or something?
No, I'm referring to danger from above.
Danger from above?
Yes. Long plume ibises often hunt little animals like these. I had to issue them a warning to get them to stop going after the Kuhenki.
You're just telling Paimon this now? Oh, it's a miracle she hasn't been carried off yet.
Then, the next time I see one, I'll advise them that you are off limits as well.
Next time? No, you need to find one right now.
The little one seems strangely curious about the idea of
Yeah,
Paimon
I'd
being
love to see
carried
that
off by
happen
a long
as well.
plume ibis.
And don't return her. You can just take her.
Like that.
I really would like to pet the little animals again.
Alright, I'm ending the stream here for today. Good night.